Well, everyone, that's a replacement needle. I spent $30 for that needle, and it's bent. Okay? And when I try to spray, it sprays out at an angle. And I don't think that's the needle, so I'm going to have to replace the entire tip of this thing. I think something's wrong with the tip of the airbrush. Okay? Not only is the needle bent, but the tip is bent up. So I'm going to order some parts. I'm going to cap this thing up, box it, put it where I'm going to take it downstairs where the computer is. Yeah, I have a computer up here, but it needs Windows. It's got Windows XP on it with a high-def screen. You can't read anything. I need to upgrade it. I got a copy of Windows 7 waiting to go onto it, and I will not use Windows 8. But anyhow, I'm going to get that taken care of. I'm going to get those parts ordered and see if that fixes it. I'm also going to go ahead and just send her in to Badger real soon. We're going to contact them and send that in and see if I can't put it through their cleaning and refurbishing program and see what they do to it. I'll be back in a little while. Kind of sad to see this gone because this was my airbrush of choice for quite a few things. Alright everyone, I have my workbench cleaned up. Every once in a while I stop and I clean everything off the workbench, so I have some clarity. Now, the paint on this, we have two types of paint. We have Tamiya Red, Flat Red XF7, and we have Tamiya Fine Surface Primer. I want to see if I can remove the red Tamiya flat paint in this horrible, diseased looking flocking with just plain old alcohol and keep the fine surface primer intact. I know I can soak it overnight and it will remove probably both, but I don't want to remove both because I've got one part with lots of different colors of paint on it already, and I don't want to do too much in that way. So what I'm going to do is just put some of this on there to loosen it and let it sit. Okay? Now, I've never done this before, so you guys, you're watching this kind of live and raw. And I've got some brushes here, some stiff ones. I got some brass brushes I don't even want near this thing. I got a toothbrush. And I have what I really like for these sorts of situations, a Tester's hobby brush and an old toothbrush that I use to brush my teeth with. I'm kind of bad about brushing my teeth. I kind of tear them apart. Anyhow, I'm going to hit them with another drop. You can see on the paper towel that the paint's already loosening with this stuff. Okay, it's going to do that, and I'm pretty sure that when I start scrubbing on this stuff's just going to come off. And look at it. I'm not scrubbing hard either because, well, this is held on with poster tack. So I'm not going to scrub very hard with it. I'm just going to loosen the paint up, hopefully, and get that awful stuff off there. And you can see right here, it's just coming off. And that's what I hoped, since it's Tamiya paint, that the alcohol will loosen it. Kind of like the hairspray method. Probably could have used water too, and water might be safer, and I'm going to try the water on the seats. It's just they're taped. Yeah, actually water would probably be better because I suspect that the alcohol will just go right under the tape. Not that it matters because the area that's not taped will be painted black, to be honest with you. And that looks like that got it. Pretty quick. I'll show you this one in a minute. Oh, it came off the thing. Landed in my lap, which is probably for the best. Now, I'm going to have to reprimer this. But, and the reason I have to reprimer it is I knew the flocking would hide the tones, the shade tones, the variation in tones between the primer and non-primered areas, whereas non-flocking will not. So this thing's going to have to be reprimered. The holes are there for the pins so the headrests fit in the seats. Alright, it's cleaning up real easy. I'm not going to show you guys the rest because, well, that's probably just boring watching me sitting here with a paintbrush going, because who wouldn't be bored by this? You know, I can see time-lapse photography of grass growing being more fun. Literally. Maybe I ought to do that, put time-lapse photography out there, because I have a camera that does that. Or, let's say, I don't know, working at McDonald's in a Walmart. That might be more fun than watching this. You know, that's my idea of the worst job ever. Because you get World of Walmart people while you work in a McDonald's. You know, I can't see that just being the best fun job ever. That cleans off really nice. Alright, there you go. And it didn't really hurt the underlying primer. So I think if I'm careful, I'll be able to take care of the seats and everything this way. I'll be back when I get done with these things. Okay, just in case you guys were wondering, my tape job was fine. That taped up just the way I wanted it to, with no issues. There's a little bit of overspray here and there, but I could have cleaned that up. Not only that, this is to be a different color than it is now. That's primer. So, you know, it would have been fine. But, well, that flocking came out bad. And I might get lucky and be able to brush that flocking off this part, because it looks like I can brush the flocking off. So I might salvage this one. This is the one I'm worried about. The other seat, I went and cleaned it. This one, again, my tape job was fine. The two seats are going to go in super clean. I'm just going to strip them bare. No way around that. But this one looks like I hit it right. I can save this. And this is the one I want to save. The seats, no. They're not going to bother me if I have to super clean them. Whatever. This is the one I really, really wanted to save if I could. And it looks like I can. Which makes me happy. This is just going to take a little bit of cleanup here and there. Okay? From the looks of it. And my tape work along this one edge right here was not outstanding. It's a teeny off. We'll see if we can fix that. This being a flat paint, it might be possible to fix it somewhat. I'm going to see if I can clean this up. If I can't, super clean it will be. Because I'm not messing around with this one. I'll be back in a little bit. Wow, bad lighting here. Ah! That's what I get for using a cheap tripod, desk-mounted tripod. Anyhow, what I was about to show you guys is this. I can't save this part. I'm going to have to strip it. So I think this part's getting the super clean treatment too. I got plenty of work to do. It's a setback, but it's not a huge setback. Again, today is the 20th, and the contest ends in 11 days. This is 2 hours worth of work. So super clean it overnight, start over. It'll be okay. I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm not going to leave that like that in a contest. So let me go get this seat deflocked, get the super clean, and get at it. I'm going to find something out. I'm afraid the super clean is going to eat the Bondo putty off the back of the seats too, which is just another hour's worth of work. So I'll lose 3 hours worth of work for doing, actually 4 for cleaning everything up, for using a brand of embossing powder I should not have used. This stuff is bad stuff for model building unless you want your seat to look like it's diseased and growing mold or something. I mean, I could see some use for that somewhere, someplace, but not with what I'm doing right now. Alright everyone, here's the end result of the paint stripping. You will see that all the red paint is off that one, and most of the primer's off the main part of the seats. I didn't worry about the sides of the back because I can sand that pretty easily for any irregularities, but the inside of there, I got all that paint out. I'm about to hit it with the Tamiya Fine Surface Primer again. And these guys, alcohol did the job on them. I didn't want to hit this with alcohol because I didn't bubble up the primer. It still feels pretty smooth. Most of the paint came off this one really quickly and easily. Over here, we got a new paint card with the, it's cured up too. With the, gosh, I can't think. with the body color on it, so I can try that clear coat one more time. I'm going to tape off half of it. Yeah, I don't want any of that getting hit with the primer. I'm going to tape off half of it and hit it with the lacquer clear, and the other half with Future. And we're going to, with Future, or I have some Aqua Gloss Clear by Alclad. I might try it instead. But we're going to see which side works better with this stuff, because I cannot have the car body finish rippling like that. And I think that ripple came from the lacquer paint. Either I got too much on there, or the interaction between the two brands of paint. One or the other. So I'm going to find out. So that's what's up next. I'll show you the end results after I primer everything. Alright, I have this all taped up and ready for paint. I'm doing a light gray at the top. The seats are red. The console is that German gray I seem to like for this car in the center. I'm not going to worry about painting the floorboard just yet. That'll be for the second round of taping. Although they're going to be light gray as well. Okay? I bondoed the back of the seats. It's time to sand them. They've been sitting for an hour. They should be ready for sanding. Once I get that smoothed up, I can primer one more time. Yeah. I can primer one more time. I may not primer them because of time. I want to paint these the same time I paint that. So, we'll see what I do. I have plenty to do on this car, so letting this sit a day isn't going to kill me. There's bin of parts that are all painted and ready for assembly. Okay? I have the main body of the car, which just needs a clear coat. I'm sorry, the main engine bay. The body of the car needs some tape work, which I'm going to go ahead and do, because that's German gray. Like that, it's also black. And that's supposed to be gloss black. So I will be using the Alclad black gloss base for chrome work. But it comes out really glossy and nice if you spray it right. Alright everyone, I'm going to get busy on this stuff. I'll be back in a bit. Alright everyone. We need to talk for a minute. Here's the side panels. There's the dash. Not the same color. And the way I originally wanted to build this car, that would have been okay. The way I'm building it now, that's not okay. So I think I'm going to have to repaint the dash. Also, I screwed up when I was doing the detail painting on this. Now, I used Tamiya paints. They're thinned with both alcohol and lacquer thinner. Okay? I've used enamel thinner on them repeatedly with zero issue. So I was using oil paints to detail. I clear coated with Alclad lacquer. Apparently the thinner for the oil paints ate right through it. So, word of warning. If you're going to try the mixed paint technique, make sure your paints are not compatible. In other words, oil paints are fine on top of acrylics. Oil paints are fine on top of lacquers and enamels. Okay? Well, apparently not on top of lacquers, because it really messes paint job up. Not only that, I used some alcohol, and the terpenoid had already thinned the lacquer up, and the alcohol just ate right through the lacquer. And I knew the alcohol could eat it. I was just doing it really quickly. So I got to repaint this. Since I got to repaint this, I might as well repaint this. So I'm going to start doing some painting. Okay? Just letting you guys know, watch your paint combinations. You just got to be careful with them. That is all. Alright? And I'll be back in a bit. Okay. My Bondo work didn't come out well. That's not my Bondo work. That's Mr. Surfacer 500. He was a little gummy, so I put some lacquer thinner in it to thin it down. It still isn't coming out well because, well, that's brush painted on. It's going to look bad because it's brush painted. There's the back of the other seat. Okay, I'm going to let those cure overnight and then sand them down, and they'll be ready to go for their taping and painting. Alright everybody, That's too much primer, but that probably will level out if I get it set in there right. But the seats are perfect now. There's no more seams. So I'm just going to let that sit in the rack. Yeah, I can do that. And if you see the other seat, it's perfect too. I got the primer a little thick on the back of the seats, but that's okay. The seats are done. Once those are dry, I can tape and mask and paint and get them done. The seat headrests are in there too. So I've almost completely undone the damage I did with the bad flock. Yeah, fun. All right, up next, I'm going to finish painting that one part and then get on the rest of the painting the interior. I'm gonna do some clear coating in a little bit. I'll be back in a bit.